His hand wrapped around my throat, not to hurt, just to hold, and his voice came out like gravel scraping against steel. You think you can walk away from me after what you've done? After you made me feel again? I couldn't breathe. Not because of his grip, but because of the fire in his eyes. This man, this dangerous, powerful man who controlled half of Los Angeles' underground, was falling apart right in front of me. I didn't do anything to you, I whispered. His laugh was bitter, almost cruel. That's where you're wrong, Zara. You did everything. Hit subscribe. This is going to be spicy, and you don't want to miss a bit of it. 3 months earlier. The bass vibrated through the floor of Eclipse, the most exclusive nightclub in downtown Los Angeles. I stood backstage, my hands shaking as I adjusted my costume. 2 years in America, and I still wasn't used to this. Dancing in front of hundreds of strangers while they threw money and shouted things I tried not to hear. But Mama needed surgery. My little sister Naledi needed university fees. My twin brothers back in Botswana needed food, books, a future. So I danced. I smiled. I pretended this was a choice and not a necessity. You're up in 2, Zara, the stage manager called. I took a deep breath, said a quick prayer like Mama taught me, and stepped toward the stage entrance. That's when I felt it. Eyes on me. Heavy. Intense. Different from the usual stares. I looked up at the VIP section on the second floor, and my heart stopped. A man sat alone in the private booth, separated from everyone else by tinted glass. But even through the glass, I could see him watching me. Not like the other men who came here. They looked at bodies, at fantasies. This man looked at me like he was trying to solve an impossible equation. He was stunning in a terrifying way. Sharp jawline, dark hair pushed back, shoulders that filled out his black suit like he was carved from marble. But it was his eyes that trapped me, cold, empty, like looking into a frozen lake. Then the music started, and I had no choice but to move. I danced that night like my life depended on it because it did. Every dollar I made went straight to Western Union and then to Botswana. The crowd cheered, money rained on the stage, but I couldn't stop glancing up at that VIP booth. He never moved, never smiled, never looked away. After my set, I rushed backstage, my heart pounding for reasons that had nothing to do with the performance. Zara. The manager grabbed my arm. Mister. Kwon wants to see you. My blood turned to ice. Who? Kwon Minho owns this place, owns half the city if rumors are true. When he calls, you go. Now. 5 minutes later, I stood in a private room that smelled like expensive cologne and danger. He sat on a leather couch, one arm stretched across the back, his eyes fixed on me with that same unsettling intensity. Sit. His voice was deep, controlled with the faintest accent. Korean, I realized. I sat on the edge of the chair across from him, ready to run. What's your real name? Zara. Zara Ose. Where are you from? Botswana. I came to the States 2 years ago. Florida first, then here. I added quickly, Sir, if I did something wrong. You didn't. He leaned forward, and suddenly the space between us felt like nothing. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. I nodded, unable to speak. Do you believe in miracles? Of all the questions I expected, that wasn't one of them. I don't know. Maybe? He stood abruptly and began pacing like a caged animal. 5 years ago, I was poisoned. A rival family in Seoul. They wanted me dead. I survived, but the poison destroyed something inside me. He stopped, his back to me. I can't feel anything, Zara. No pain. No pleasure, no hunger, no exhaustion, nothing. My body works, but it's dead. The doctors called it severe neuropathy, permanent nerve damage. They said I'd never feel anything again. My chest tightened with unexpected sympathy. That sounds like a nightmare. It is. He turned to face me, and for the first time I saw something break through that frozen exterior. Desperation. For 5 years, I've lived in silence, in emptiness. I run an empire. I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes, but I feel nothing. No anger, no joy. No, he paused, his jaw clenching. No desire. Nothing. I started to stand. I should go. I'm sorry for what happened to you, but I don't understand why you're telling me this. Because tonight, watching you dance, something impossible happened. He crossed the room in 3 strides and stopped inches from me. I felt everything. My breath caught. Besties, welcome back to Afro-Korean Love Stories. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we're just getting started, and you don't want to miss what happens next. And please drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, USA, Canada, somewhere else. I love knowing how far these stories travel. Now, to my returning besties. If you click away now, you'll spend all night wondering how this ends. Trust me, you don't want that kind of curiosity keeping you up. Stick with me till the end. I promise it'll be worth it. And listen, only people who think true love doesn't exist will scroll past without liking this video. You believe in love, right? Then show some love back. Hit that like button and let's continue this journey together. I backed away, but he followed. You don't understand, I said. I'm just a dancer. I don't have magic powers. Then explain this. He held up his hand and I saw it trembling. My hands haven't shaken in 5 years. My heart hasn't raced. My body hasn't responded to anything or anyone. But you walk on that stage and suddenly I can feel my pulse. I can feel heat spreading through my chest. I can feel... He stopped, his eyes dropping briefly before meeting mine again. Everything. The way he said that last word made my skin flush. This doesn't make sense. I know. He pulled out his phone. That's why I'm asking for your help. What kind of help? Stay with me. Let me figure out why you affect me this way. If there's a chance you can give me back what I lost, I'll pay anything. My mouth went dry. Pay for what exactly? Your time, your presence, nothing you don't want to give. He typed something on his phone. 1 month, live in my penthouse, let me be near you. If being around you brings back my ability to feel, then maybe the doctors were wrong. Maybe this isn't permanent. My phone buzzed. I pulled it from my purse and nearly dropped it. 50,000 $50,000 transferred to my account. That's a deposit, he said calmly. Agree to 1 month, and I'll give you $500,000 total. That's enough to cover your mother's surgery, your sister's university, and anything else your family needs. How did he know about Mama? About Naledi? He saw my expression. I have resources. When someone interests me, I learn everything. Your mother has kidney disease. Your sister wants to study engineering in South Africa. Your twin brothers are 12 and need better schooling. You send home 80% of everything you make. He paused. I'm offering you a way out, Zara. 1 month of your time for financial freedom. It sounded too good, too easy. Nothing in life came without a price. And if I say no? Then you walk away. Keep the 50,000 $50,000, I won't force you. His eyes darkened. But I'm begging you to say yes. 5 years of nothing, Zara. 5 years of being a ghost in my own body. If there's even a chance you can help me feel again, I'll do anything. The desperation in his voice broke something in me. That's how I ended up standing outside Minho's penthouse in Beverly Hills 3 days later, a suitcase in my hand and terror in my heart. The elevator opened directly into his apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the entire city spread out below. Los Angeles glittered like a carpet of diamonds. Somewhere out there was the small studio apartment I shared with 2 other dancers. Somewhere out there was the life I knew. But here, in this glass tower, was something else entirely. You came. Minho appeared from somewhere deeper in the apartment. He'd changed from his usual suit into dark jeans and a simple black shirt. Somehow that made him more dangerous, more real. I keep my promises, I said, trying to sound braver than I felt. He smiled slightly, and even that small expression transformed his face. Your room is this way. He led me down a hallway lined with modern art. My room was bigger than my entire apartment. A king-sized bed, a private bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people, a balcony overlooking the city. This is too much, I whispered. This is the smallest bedroom. He leaned against the doorframe. The rules are simple. You're free to come and go as you please. My driver will take you anywhere you want. You keep working at the club if you want or quit. Your choice. All I ask is that you have dinner with me every evening and let me spend time near you. That's it? That's it. He pushed off the doorframe. I'm trying to understand why you affect me this way. So far, just being in the same room as you makes me feel more alive than I have in 5 years. As if to prove his point, he walked closer. My back hit the wall, and he braced one hand beside my head. Not touching me, but close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from his body. When I'm near you, he said softly, I can feel my heartbeat. Can you hear it? I could. It was pounding almost as hard as mine. I can feel my temperature rising, my skin prickling with awareness. His eyes dropped to my lips. I can feel desire for the first time in 5 years, and it's terrifying and exhilarating, and I don't want it to stop. Minho. My voice came out breathy. I'm not going to touch you unless you ask me to. He stepped back, putting distance between us. But I needed you to understand what you do to me. What you've given back to me just by existing. Then he left, closing the door softly behind him. I stood there for a full minute, trying to catch my breath. What had I agreed to? The first week was strange. We had dinner together every night. Minho cooked, which surprised me. Apparently, during his 5 years of numbness, he'd learned to cook as a way to pass time, even though he couldn't taste anything. I followed recipes exactly, he explained one night over perfectly seasoned bulgogi. I knew the food was good because people told me so, but I couldn't taste it myself. And now? I asked. He took a bite and closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were bright with something that looked like joy. Now I can taste everything. The sesame oil, the soy sauce, the sweetness of the pear in the marinade. It's like experiencing food for the first time. He looked at me across the table. Thank you. I'm not doing anything. You're here. That's everything. After dinner, we'd sit on the balcony. Sometimes we talked. He told me about growing up in Seoul, about his family's business, about how he'd ended up in Los Angeles building an empire that operated in the shadows. Other times, we sat in comfortable silence, and I'd catch him staring at me with that same intense expression. What are you thinking? I asked one night. That I'm afraid to sleep, he admitted. Because what if I wake up tomorrow and the feelings are gone again? What if this is temporary? Without thinking, I reached across and took his hand. He inhaled sharply, his fingers closing around mine. I can feel this, he whispered. The warmth of your skin. The softness of your palm. 5 years, Zara. 5 years of shaking hands and feeling nothing. But your touch. He brought my hand to his chest. I can feel my heart racing. It was racing, hard and fast under my palm. That was the night everything changed. Week 2 started with a problem. I was at the club finishing my set when 2 men in expensive suits approached me backstage. Miss Ose, we need you to come with us. Fear shot through me. Who are you? Associates of Mr. Kwon? There's a situation. 20 minutes later, I burst into Minho's office at one of his legitimate businesses, a high-end restaurant in Koreatown. He sat behind his desk, his face carved from stone, but when he saw me, relief flooded his expression. Zara, thank God. What's wrong? Your men scared me half to death. He stood and crossed to me in 3 strides, his hands framing my face. My enemies in Seoul know about you. They know you're living with me. They sent a message today. His jaw clenched. They're threatening you. Ice filled my veins. What? 5 years ago? The poison that nearly killed me? The family behind it, the Parks? They're still trying to destroy me. They found out about you, and now they're using you as leverage. I pulled back from his touch. Then I need to leave. I need to go back to Botswana. No. The word came out hard, final. You leave and they win. Plus, if they're tracking you, leaving puts your family in danger. Then what do I do? His eyes softened. You stay here, with me, where I can protect you. My security is the best in the country. No one gets to you unless they go through me first, and I promise you, Zara, I will burn down anyone who tries to hurt you. The possessiveness in his voice should have scared me. Instead, it sent a thrill down my spine. Why are you doing this? The month's not even half over. You could just let me go. He stepped closer again, his hand sliding down to grip my waist, because somewhere in the last 2 weeks this stopped being about my ability to feel again. His forehead touched mine. It started being about you, about not wanting to imagine a day without seeing your face, without hearing your laugh, without feeling alive because you're near me. Minho, I know this is crazy. I know we barely know each other. But 5 years of nothing taught me something important. Life is too short to waste time pretending I don't want something when I do. His thumb brushed my cheek. And I want you, Zara. Not just because you make me feel, but because when I'm with you, I want to feel everything. My breath caught. I'm scared. Of me? Of this. Of how fast everything is moving. Of what happens when the month is up. His smile was soft, almost sad. Then we don't think about the end. We just focus on right now, right here. His lips hovered over mine. Can I kiss you? I should have said no. This was too complicated, too dangerous. But my heart was pounding, and my body was leaning into his, and I wanted to know what it felt like to be wanted by someone like him. Yes. The kiss was gentle at first, soft, exploring. Then his hand slid into my hair, tilting my head back, and the kiss deepened into something hungry and desperate. He kissed me like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning for 5 years. His other hand pressed into the small of my back, pulling me flush against him. I could feel every hard plane of his body, could feel the evidence of his desire, and it made heat pool low in my belly. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. I felt that, he whispered against my lips, every single second. Besties, I need to know something. Are you hooked? Comment hooked if you're feeling this story. And quick question for my USA and Canada viewers. Have you ever felt an instant connection with someone like Zara and Minho have? Drop your thoughts below. Now listen. Only people who think Zara should abandon her family and run away will skip liking this video. But you're not that person, right? You want to see where this love story goes. So hit that like button and let's keep this journey going. We're just getting to the good part. Week 3 brought unexpected complications. Minho's ex-fiancé showed up at the Penthouse. I was in the kitchen making tea when the elevator doors opened and a stunning Korean woman walked in like she owned the place. Designer dress, perfect hair, cold eyes. So you're the African girl he's obsessed with? I set down my mug carefully. I'm sorry, who are you? Ji-eun. Minho and I were engaged before the poisoning. She looked me up and down with barely concealed disgust. I stood by him for 2 years after it happened. I tried everything to help him. Then you dance on a stage for one night and suddenly he can feel again. Convenient. Her words hit like slaps. It's not like that, isn't it? You're living in his home, spending his money. You're using his condition to manipulate him. I'm not... Ji-eun. Minho's voice cut through the room like a blade. He stepped out of his office, his expression dark. Get out. Minho, please. I love you. I've always loved you. This girl, she's what I need, what I want. And you need to leave before I have security remove you. Ji-eun's perfect composure cracked. You're choosing her over me, over everything we had. We had nothing. You stayed out of obligation and pity. She stayed because... He looked at me and his expression softened. Because she sees me. Not my money, not my power. Just me. Ji-eun left, but not before shooting me a look that promised this wasn't over. That night, Minho was quiet during dinner. You okay? I asked. I should be asking you that. Ji-eun had no right to speak to you that way. She's not wrong though, is she? I am living here, taking your money. Stop. He reached across the table and grabbed my hand. You're not taking anything. I offered. You accepted. And what we have, whatever this is becoming, it has nothing to do with money or contracts. Then what is it? He stood, pulling me up with him. We ended up on the balcony, the city lights spread out below us like stars. Do you know what the worst part of those 5 years was? He asked quietly. It wasn't the lack of physical sensation, it was the isolation, knowing I'd never connect with another person again. Never feel love, never feel desired. I was alive but not living. He turned to face me. Then you appeared and suddenly I'm not alone anymore. I can feel you when you're near. I can feel myself coming back to life, and it terrifies me because what if this ends? What if you leave and I go back to that emptiness? I cupped his face with both hands. I'm not going anywhere. Not yet. The not yet hung between us like a guillotine. When the month is up, he started. Let's not think about that right now. He pulled me against him, his arms wrapping around me tight. I'm falling for you, Zara. I know it's too fast, too complicated, but 5 years of nothing taught me not to waste time on fear. So I'm telling you now, I'm falling and I don't want to stop. My heart swelled and broke at the same time. I'm falling too, I whispered. And it scares me. Why? Because men like you don't end up with girls like me, because this feels like a fairy tale, and fairy tales don't last. He pulled back just enough to look at me. Then we write our own ending, one where we both get what we want. And what do you want? His answer was simple. You. Every day. Every night. Forever. Week 4 started with a threat becoming reality. I was leaving the penthouse for a dance class when a black van pulled up. 3 men jumped out. Before I could scream, a cloth covered my face. Everything went dark. I woke up in a warehouse tied to a chair. My head throbbed, my vision was blurry, but I could make out 3 figures standing in front of me. She's awake. The leader stepped forward. Korean, young with eyes that held no mercy. You must be special for Kwon Minho to break his 5-year dry spell over you. Fear clawed at my throat. What do you want? To send a message. He took something from my family 5 years ago. Now I take something from him. He pulled out a knife. Don't worry. We're not going to kill you. Just mark you enough that he'll never look at you the same way again. I thrashed against the ropes, but they held tight. The blade moved toward my face. Then the warehouse door exploded inward. Minho stood in the doorway, surrounded by at least 20 men. His face was pure rage. Touch her, and you die screaming. Everything happened fast. Gunshots, shouting, bodies hitting the floor. I squeezed my eyes shut, terrified. Then strong hands were cutting the ropes. Zara, Zara, look at me. I opened my eyes. Minho knelt in front of me, his hands cupping my face. Blood splattered his shirt, but his touch was gentle. Are you hurt? Did they touch you? I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. He pulled me into his arms, holding me so tight I could barely breathe. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I should have protected you better. You came for me. I'll always come for you. He pulled back, his eyes burning into mine. Always, Zara. No matter what, you're mine to protect. He carried me out of that warehouse and straight to the hospital. Nothing was broken, just bruises and shock. But Minho didn't leave my side for a second. That night back at the penthouse, he sat on the edge of my bed. The parks are finished. Tonight was their last play. And they lost. You killed them? My voice was small. Some of them. He didn't apologize. The ones who put hands on you, yes. I should have been horrified. Instead, I felt safe. The month is almost up, I said quietly, his jaw clenched. I know. What happens now? He stood, pacing the room. I can't let you go, Zara. I know that's selfish. I know you have your own life, your own dreams. But these 4 weeks with you, they've been the most alive I've felt in 5 years. More than alive, happy, terrified, angry, desperate. I'm feeling everything, and it's all because of you. He stopped, turning to face me. Stay. Not because of the contract. Not because of money. Stay because you want to. Stay because what we have is real, and walking away from it would be the biggest mistake either of us ever made. I sat up, my heart pounding. And if I stay? What does that make me? Your girlfriend? Your kept woman? My everything? He crossed the room and knelt beside the bed. My partner. My equal. The woman I'm in love with. The words hung in the air. You love me? I whispered. Completely. Desperately, probably dangerously. His hand found mine. 5 years of feeling nothing, and now I can't stop feeling everything for you. Is that love? I don't know, but I know I'd rather die than lose you. Besties, tell me you're feeling this. Comment I believe in love, if this story is hitting different. And I have a question for everyone watching, whether you're in the USA, Canada, Florida, or anywhere else. Do you think Zara should stay, or should she protect her heart and leave? Drop your answer below. Now listen, only people who think broken people don't deserve second chances will scroll past without subscribing. But you believe in healing, right? You believe love can fix what's broken? Then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this story is almost over and you don't want to miss the ending. I pulled him up onto the bed beside me. I love you too, I said. It's crazy and fast and makes no sense, but I love you. He kissed me then, and it was different from before, deeper, more desperate. His hands roamed over my body like he was memorizing every curve, every soft place. Tell me to stop, he breathed against my lips. Tell me if this is too much. Don't stop. My fingers worked at the buttons of his shirt. I want to feel everything with you too. That night we crossed every line. He worshipped my body like it was sacred. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered word made me fall deeper. And through it all, he kept whispering the same thing. I can feel this. I can feel you. Thank you. Thank you. The next morning I woke up wrapped in his arms. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Los Angeles spread out below us, full of possibility. I have a proposal, Minho said against my hair. Another contract? No contracts, just a choice. He shifted so we were face to face. Come to Seoul with me. Meet my family. Let me show you the world I come from. Then decide if you want this life, if you want me. Your family knows about me? They will soon. I'm done hiding you. Done pretending this is temporary. His thumb brushed my cheek. I want forever, Zara, and I'm willing to fight for it. I thought about Botswana, about Mama and Naledi and the twins, about the girl who came to America with nothing but hope and fear. Then I looked at this man who'd been dead inside for 5 years, who'd come back to life through some miracle neither of us understood, who'd killed for me, would die for me, and loved me with an intensity that should terrify me, but instead made me feel invincible. Okay, I whispered, let's go to Seoul. 6 months later, I stood in Minho's family estate outside Seoul, wearing a hanbok his mother had chosen for me. Traditional, beautiful, terrifying. You look perfect, Minho said, appearing at my side. He wore a matching traditional outfit, and he looked like he'd stepped out of a historical drama. I'm nervous. They'll love you. How could they not? He kissed my temple. You brought me back from the dead. His mother appeared, elegant and intimidating. She'd been warm to me so far, but there was still a test in her eyes. Zara, there's something we need to discuss. My heart sank. Here it comes. the rejection, the "you're not good enough for my son." But instead she pulled out a small velvet box. This was Minho's grandmother's ring. She was a fierce woman who married for love against everyone's wishes. "I see that same fierce love between you and my son." She opened the box, revealing a stunning diamond. "I'm giving this to you now because I know my son is too impatient to wait for the proper moment." Minho laughed behind me. "Ioma, I was planning to propose next week." "Then do it now. I want to see her face." He didn't hesitate. He turned me to face him, took the ring from his mother, and dropped to one knee right there in the garden. "Zara Osei, you saved my life without even trying. You made me feel again, love again, live again. I don't have pretty words because I'm not a poet, but I have truth. I love you more than I thought possible. Marry me. Build a life with me. Let me spend forever trying to make you as happy as you've made me." Tears streamed down my face. "Yes. Yes, of course, yes." The ring slid onto my finger perfectly. Around us, his family cheered. His father opened champagne. His mother hugged me tight and whispered, "Welcome to the family." That night, alone in Minho's childhood bedroom, he held me close. "Do you ever regret it? Saying yes to that first month?" I thought about the scared girl who walked into his penthouse with a suitcase and doubt. Then I thought about the woman I'd become, stronger, braver, loved beyond measure. "Not for a second," I said. "You?" "I regret that it took 5 years of being dead inside to find you. But now that I have you," he kissed me softly, "I'm never letting go." "Good," I smiled against his lips. "Because I haven't felt anything this real in my entire life, until I met you." "What did you do to me, Kwon Minho?" He laughed, and the sound was pure joy. "I loved you, that's all. And I'm going to keep loving you until my last breath." Besties, we did it! We made it to the end. If this story touched your heart, I need you to do something for me right now. Hit that like button if you believe love can heal even the deepest wounds. Comment "beautiful" if you're feeling emotional. And please, please subscribe if you want more stories like this. Stories about love that breaks barriers, heals trauma, and proves that sometimes the person meant to save you shows up exactly when you need them most. Whether you're watching from the USA, Canada, or anywhere in the world, drop your location in the comments. I want to know where all my beautiful besties are. And tell me, what was your favorite moment? The first kiss? The rescue? The proposal? Let's talk about it in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs to believe in miracles today. Until next time, besties, keep believing in love that transforms. I'll see you in the next story.